Today at Welcome Home Custom, we are going to assemble this clock. Hey guys, we are going to do a quick video on how to assemble these new clocks that I made. So I went ahead and cut it out of two different woods. This is walnut, this is cherry. I've already oiled all my pieces. So I thought we could go through what's included in the file first. You could make the clock with a calendar, or you can make the clock without a calendar. You've got this piece with all the little cutouts, which I did keep the cutouts because I'm going to swap the colors. We've got lots of these sticks. These are to hold the calendar. We have got the calendar itself. The month is double-sided, and then we've got a few select numbers that are double-sided. Just we need 1, 2, and 3 duplicated. We've got this square pieces. These square pieces are to hide the clock in back, so it's not an eyesore if you see it from the side. And then we've got the stand. Okay, so what we're going to do first is let's go ahead and figure out how we want our pieces set up. Okay, so first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna place my little pieces all the way around. Now, like I said, I've already oiled these, but I found that I really liked having the opposing color going around. Oops, make sure my oiled side is facing up. Insert all my pieces. I can go ahead and fast forward this part, and then we can move on to the next step. Okay, so I have all my pieces placed. I am going to now add glue to the back of these. Now, what I would do is just tape. I don't have my masking with me, but I'm just gonna put a piece of tape over all the pieces so they stay in place. All right, so we are going to flip this over. Look at my charred back. Flip this one over. Let's go ahead and add glue to them. Could be a job for 3M if you use 3M, for sure. So now what we're going to do is we are going to there are lines scored at the bottom. We are going to lay this down on top, looking for the lines. And then we are going to take our tape off. Spray adhesive would probably work really well for this too, if you like spray adhesive. Okay. Then we're just going to make sure that our 6 and 12 are more up and down. Just a slight shift. Okay, perfect. Now, if you have any glue that escapes, you can clean it up. Just a little bit right there. The inside looks actually pretty good. The last thing we want to do before we call it donezo is we may want to go ahead and grab our centerpiece and make sure we can push it all the way through. That way you know your center is lined up, okay? So this one is good. We will go ahead and glue up this guy real quick and then move on to our next step. Okay, so I went ahead and rethought out my base a little bit. So we're not gonna use all these pieces that I originally made. We're gonna use these pieces. I'm gonna throw everything else away. So, and then I originally only had one slot. Now I have 2 slots in my bases. And you will see why. I just think it's gonna work better. So let's go ahead and I'm gonna glue up this piece real quick. Maybe clean this up just a little bit. It won't really be that noticeable because it's gonna be facing the back, but still would like it to be somewhat presentable. Okay, now we're going to glue this on to this piece. And we will let this one dry. Press it down tight. All right, set that aside. Let's go ahead and oil these real quick. So I am out of my foam brushes still, so I need to run this. I just need to order them, really. I'm just gonna oil this real quick. This way I'll have this one facing out. Okay. So depending on how tight your slots are, you could glue your base down. They are even front to back. They are slightly stepped on the sides. I will go ahead and glue mine down because why not? My hands are shaky lately. And we will just set this right on top. Now that that is on top, I'm going to go ahead and place in this bracket. This bracket should be the one closest to the back, the slot that's closest to the back. So we will go ahead and push this down in, and this will also help you line up your slots for gluing. So it sits like that, okay? Now, what we could do, we could go ahead and glue our front piece on. So our front piece is just gonna sit like this, right on the edge. So, you know what we'll do? Let's go ahead and put this one in, and then we are going to glue up our squares, because that's probably gonna need to go on next. Place it down, and then insert your back piece. Did I make this one too tight? Nope. Might need to slide it over a little bit. There it goes. Okay, like that. Okay, so now let's glue up our squares. I still have masking on the back of some of mine. I find that I like to mask if I'm doing something double-sided because of the flashback. So we're gonna go ahead and add glue all the way around. Press it down. We can clean it up in a second. And glue it down. So we are going to let that dry. Like so. So for this, this is the back. This will go on front. Push it down. Okay, so it looks like this. And we will go ahead and attach our lip to the front. Gosh, my hands are shaky. Along the bottom, and then we're going to go ahead and put a little bit on the back too. Okay, so we just set this down. You want it to be somewhat centered with your clock. So this is what's going to hold our pieces in place. So the last part is just gluing on the square piece around your mechanism, as well as adding the calendar on the bottom for storage in the back. And then your clock is done. Now I suggest just following the manufacturer's recommendations on installing the clock parts. It's very easy to do. As you can see, I used the second hand. There is an option to not use a second hand. But overall, I think the design came out great. Hope you guys found this helpful, and tune in for more assembly videos. Thanks so much for watching.